welcome to my Asshole Podcast. Let's get into it. All right. Today is Haunting Adeline Day. My goodness. We're getting so ever close to Haunting Adeline's conclusion. And boy, I'm going to miss this book. I am. I think I'm going to miss it a lot. But I'm excited to finish this one finally and to get into the next one that we decide to get into, something new and all of that. So I am excited. I hope you guys have been enjoying the Haunting Adeline. I know this is actually some of you guys' favorite episodes, and so I love doing these episodes for you guys. Now, I don't know if you guys stay for the thread and then Haunting Adeline, or if you skip the threads and go straight to Haunting Adeline, but whichever one you do, hey, it's all good. Don't worry about it. I'm just glad that you're here to check it out and see what all craziness Zayd and our girl Adeline be up to. My goodness. They are just crazy for each other. And we're about to conclude up pretty much everything. And by next week, we should have everything concluded with this book. And then the following week, we will be working on a new book. I went ahead and was just kind of seeing if, you guys wanted to continue Haunting Adeline and do its book 2, or you guys wanted to do another book. A lot of people were saying that they wanted to do a different book, and I got a lot of book recommendations. So I'm going to be looking into those in the following weeks, and we will choose one, or I will choose one, and then we'll go from there. So next Thursday will be the conclusion of Haunting Adeline, and then the following Thursday, expect a brand new book. All right. So hopefully we get one as crazy as this one. I don't know. We're going to try to find something wild out there for you guys. But without further ado, let's get into the thread so we can get back into Haunting Adeline. We have chapters 40 and 41 for today's episode. So our thread today is what sounds like a compliment, but is actually an insult. All right. So I got a fortune cookie that said, "You are as intelligent as you are good looking." I'm not sure how to feel about that. Well, I mean, if you don't think that you look good, then maybe you're not as smart. But I mean, what I've noticed is a lot of smart people are usually not that good looking, but hey, there's sometimes there are smart, good looking people. You never know. But I mean, to get it out of the fortune cookie, chill, man, you good. When someone sounds extremely surprised and says that your spouse is really good looking. We've had a lot of those kind of scenarios where, the friends of the wife, they'll be a little too close with the husband, and you're just like, hey man. We've had a lot of those scenarios. My mother-in-law once said to me, "I love how you just play with your kids and don't worry at all about cleaning your house." Wow. That's some shots, bro. Like, what you trying to say? What you trying to say? Damn. I remember hearing a story about someone's mom or grandma always saying that you can never be both smart and pretty at the same time. Anytime someone would fuck up, she'd tell them that they are really pretty today. Okay. I mean, I guess that's one way to insult somebody without them knowing that they're being insulted. All right. Hey, teach his own. Oh, wow, you're so brave for wearing that. I wish I had your confidence. Yo. That's how you know it's ugly. Oh, no. Oh, my God. Yeah, that's a white girl's reference if I've ever seen one. Man, if you remember White Girl, or no, I'm sorry, not White Girls. Oh, my God, I'm terrible. Mean Girls. If you remember the OG Mean Girls, where she was just like, "Oh, my God, I love your shirt. Where'd you get it from?" And then she's just like, "Oh, I got it. Oh, I don't care." And it's like, dude, it's ugly. She ain't trying to tell you it's ugly. You're very articulate with a surprised inflection. Yeah, that's like saying, when you're trying somebody's food and you're like, "It's different," Yeah, no, chief. Nah, man. I love the way you don't care what anyone thinks about you. Okay. That just sounds like that somebody's just jealous of you, but okay. Let's see. We've had a visiting scholar when I was in grad school, and he was really nice, but not the brightest. He was Dutch, so great English skills, but subtle differences in use. One day he said, I don't like it when people tell me good for you. They never really mean good for you. Facts. If I'm being honest with you, I think a lot of people use that sarcastically now. People don't really be like, oh, good for you, man. They're just like, good for you. You know, it's like, they don't really fucking mean it. They never really in your corner, oh, hating ass motherfuckers. I tell people, you're a man amongst kings. Usually takes them a second to realize what I said. Oh, I see. Damn, son. He's practically saying, bro, you're a peasant. While everybody else is elevated. You know, like, step your game up is what he's pretty much saying. Damn. I hope your day is as pleasant as you are. Yeah, you always say that to some rude motherfuckers. I used to say some underhanded shit. Like when I used to work retail, my goodness, I would say some underhanded shit. They'd be sitting there just like, oh, fuck you. Da, 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 da. Oh, I hope you have a fantastic day. And they're just like, why are you trying to be smart with me? Like, bitch, shut up. You're such a good League of Legends player. All right. Sure. I heard this from a friend who graduated top of the class in Fordham, whose mom is a narcissist. Oh, wow. The other students must not have wanted it enough. Damn, son. She was just like, woo, let's go. It's like, man, these old trash ass kids must not want it enough. My baby did. Let's go. Let's go. Me. That's my child. That child came out of me. Hey, you guys are trash. Step it up. Like, damn. Using the word actually in a compliment. You're actually smart. You're actually pretty. You're actually not that bad. That's true. That's true. Because, I mean, it doesn't sound as sincere if you're just sitting there talking about, oh, wow, you're actually da-da-da. You know, because it's like, wow, that means you've perceived me as not this the whole time. Like, damn. I'm mid-sized and got a little tummy. Apparently, I hide it so well as to me by multiple people once seeing me in a swimsuit. I mean, they just telling you you're fat, if I'm being honest with you. They're like, oh, wow. You're a bit of a big lass, aren't ya? You're a bit of a big one, aren't ya? Don't you know? I bet you graduated at the top of the bell curve. Oh, damn, that's fucked up. If you know, you know. My math teacher is in high school. Oh, wait, hold on. My math teacher in high school would always tell me I was so ambitious when I told him of my desire to get a BS, in aerospace engineering in undergrad. I found out later he was really just being condescending and thought I wasn't being serious. Now I'm 6 months out of getting my PhD in aerospace engineering, so fuck you. Hey, I mean, you know, sometimes you need that. Sometimes you need that little negative reinforcement to kind of be like, I'm going to prove you wrong, you know? But I don't even really think that fits the thread, but sure. Personally, I think good for you. Okay, we already did that one. You're really pretty for a blank. You can fill in the blank yourself with many words, or telling someone they speak nice for being a black person. Damn. Like, wow, you speak very nicely for a black person. You know, it's like, what is that supposed to mean? Like, wait, hold on. What? I thought I was just speaking, plain English, right? No? Okay. Damn. Oh, you are Mexican, but you don't look like one. It doesn't sound like a compliment, but people that say that think so. I mean, even if you're just, I guess that only works with, because, yeah, Well, because sometimes it's just like, what? You're black? And it's just like, yeah. Yeah, you've ever heard of mixed race? I kind of get that sometimes too. I ain't gonna lie to you. A lot of people don't even think I'm black, but I'm just like, what? Yes. Have you seen my dad? You know, that nigga's dark as the night sky. Like, what are we talking about? You know? And then I just have very like, I just have a keep it real attitude, if I'm being honest with you, just about a lot of shit. So I'm like, hey, you know, and they're just like, wait, what? They're taken aback a lot of times. I'm just like, yeah, hey, it is what it is. Former colleague dancing with a girl. You don't sweat much for a bigger girl. Damn, that's messed up. Oh, that's messed up. You know, oh, they out here getting sly with the fat comments. How are you still single? You're a really nice guy. I can't fucking stand that one. Man, and I think any guy can't stand it, especially hearing that from a girl. It's like, shut up. Date me then. You know? Like, if you're so fucking surprised and you think I'm such a great guy, then date me then. And then they'll be like, oh, well, no, I just see you as a friend. I just see you, da-da-da. Oh, no. Okay, that's what every other girl thinks. Fuck we talking about here? That's not a compliment, ladies. That's not a compliment. Stop walking around telling dudes, oh, my God, I'm so surprised you're single. You're such a great guy. Okay, then date me then. Date me. You know? And whatever excuse that you come up with for not wanting to date me, well, that's every other girl's excuse right there. So shut up. I swear, man, it's not just me. That is almost every guy. Every guy that gets told that, you know, they sit there and they're just like, well, date me then. What you gonna do? Date me then. Like, come on, man. Anything not committal, like that's really something, or I'm speechless. All right. I mean, that just sounds like they're not listening to you. You know what I mean? That sounds like you're having a conversation and they're just like, what? Really? No way. That's crazy. I'm speechless. You know, like that just sounds like they're just not listening to you. That's not really like a compliment. That's an insult. Okay, so many from the theater. My favorite being, I wish you could have been in the audience. Okay. All right. You're so articulate. No, Matt. A lot of them are kind of just whack, if I'm being honest with you. Like, oh, no, another fat one. If you're fat, you have such a pretty face. Or the other classic, you'd be pretty if you just lost weight. That second one is not even really a compliment at all in any degree. You know, like that's just saying like, damn, you're ugly now, but if you lost weight, then you'd be pretty. You know, like that's an insult all the way through. Now, the first one, you have such a pretty face. I guess, you know, because it's just like, oh, the only pretty thing about you is your face. You know, everything else is ugly. Then I guess that's how you can kind of take that as a compliment. That's an insult. I get that one. You're too pretty to be working here, said to me when I was working in a grocery store by a guy. You know, when I worked in retail, when I worked in the stores and stuff, dude, girls got that all day, every day, and it doesn't work. Stop saying it. It'd always be the older guys too. It'd always be the older guys. I'm talking like 40 plus. These guys would just be like, oh man, you're so pretty. You're too pretty to be working here. Why are you working here? Like, bitch, I got bills. What do you mean? I need money. Like, what the fuck are we talking about? Like, come on, man. Like they trying to set up a sugar daddy situation or something. Like, you damn well know you ain't trying to sugar daddy nothing. Like, stop it. I think that's what I've always thought that they were trying to do. You know, they were trying to set up like a little sugar daddy situation, and that's why they were saying that. But then when I would hear it like from the girls' side, they're just like, nah, they're just being creepy, and they're just thinking that is flattering, and it's not. And I'm just like, yeah, facts, because what? Like, what are you going for? You look so good for a mom. I've only had one person say that to me, but conditional compliments like that are never very flattering. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I don't think a mom would want to hear that. You know what I mean? They're just like, oh, wow, dang, you look great for a mom. It's like, oh, okay, well, damn. Like, you never see me. Oh, man, yeah, you're pretty for a black girl. Yes, numerous men have told me and other black girls this, yet they're so confused when we get offended. Yeah, but if I'm being honest with you, it's kind of a true statement. It's just my two schmeckles. A lot of black girls, they're overweight. Let's be honest here. And a lot of black girls are big girls. And they think they thick and all that. And it's like, nah, baby, you're fat. I'm sorry. But hey, when you do find a skinny, good looking black girl, you're like, oh, okay. Damn, you're pretty for a black girl. So I'm just saying, that's how dudes see it. You can get mad all you want about that, but it ain't going to change the fact that that's how dudes see it. Let's see. Oh, you've got a bigger dick than your brother. Wait, what now? Huh? Okay. All right. Oh, you're beautiful, but damn. Like when you throw that butt in there, it's just like that kills the compliment immediately. It's like, you're beautiful, but it's like saying, it's like that trend they used to go around where they were just like, oh, he or she is a 10, but you know what I mean? It just kills the entire compliment. Let's see. Oh, see, I don't think that one's a compliment. I think that's just being petty when they're just like, I love that for you. That I think is just being petty. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's just being petty. Like anytime somebody says that is pettiness. They're just like, oh, I love that for you. That's just fantastic. Or when they're like, there you go. Oh, man. That is so fucking petty. Like when you're talking about something and they're like, there you go. I love that for you. Like, bro, that's how you know. I'm sorry, man. Like, if somebody says that to you, man, they ain't got the best interest. Sorry. They don't got the best interest for you. They just don't. Let's see. My son is super picky about food. And once I made a new recipe and asked him what he thought, and he said, well, it wasn't terrible. Is that a compliment or an insult? I mean, it's a nice way to say, like, your food was mid. If I mean, I was like, because a lot of times, if it's not terrible and it wasn't good, then it's like, hey, if I'm hungry enough, it'll taste good. But since I'm not that hungry, it just tastes all right. Just tastes all right. I would think it's an insult though. Let's see. Really, I didn't really think this one as an insult, but I don't care what anyone else says about you. You're all right in my book. I always thought that was a thing where, somebody would say that because people was talking that ish, and then they get to know you and they're just like, wait a minute. I think they the one that's bullshit, not you. Like they're saying that you're bullshitting, but I think it's them. Like, you're a pretty good person, I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one on that one because that's what it kind of seems like to me. All right, we're gonna do like two more. When I was in my early 20s, my boss at the time caught me crying on my break and told me I was a sweet kid and a sharp cookie, and if I just lost a little weight, I'd be beating the boys off with a stick. And there was so much to correct there that I experienced something like verbal paralysis and just kind of fish mouthed at him until he got back in his truck and left. So your boss sat there and was just like, oh, don't worry, you're a sweet girl. You know, verbatim. You're a sweet girl. You're a sharp cookie, but you're fat. And if you lose some weight, then maybe the customers wouldn't be calling you a fat bitch. Just saying. All right, have a good one. I'll see you on Monday. Like, yo. That's fucked up. Yeah, it made her stop crying, but she sure was shocked. She was sitting there like, what? Like, huh? Like, yeah, my boss is going to say that to me? Damn. That's crazy. Oh, my God. All right, I'm going to find one more. Let's see. You're so unique. I've never met anyone quite like you before. This might sound like a compliment, but it could be seen as insult if it means to imply that the person is strange or different in a negative way. Yeah, and it does depend on, like, you know, like, say, you know, you do something and they're just like, oh, that's unique, you know, or if they like, they don't really like something that you do, but you know what I mean? They see that you love it and they're just like, that's different. It's different, you know? That does make sense, man. All right, well, that's going to go ahead and end that thread. There wasn't too many juicy ones in there. There was little gems in there, here and there, but you know, that's how that thread game goes. You know, sometimes there's some juicy ones in there. Sometimes there aren't. There was a lot of the same shit in there. So I'm going to go ahead and end the thread there. Thank you guys so much for being here on a beautiful Thursday Haunting Adeline episode. I'm gonna smooth on through these announcements. That way we can get straight to chapter 40 and 41 for you guys. Patreon.com/MyThatSoPodcast. Get on there for an exclusive episode every single Friday, as well as being able to send in your scenarios to be featured on Tuesday as well as Sunday shows. Thank you guys for all the support. You audio listeners, keep downloading the podcast as well as rating this show 5 stars. I don't know why I blank out on that shit. But keep downloading the podcast. Keep rating it 5 stars. If you want to help even more on the free 99 side of things, go ahead and follow us on Instagram as well as TikTok. We're close to our goal of 10K. I'm hoping to hit that 10K. We might not hit it by June. Hopefully we can hit it before our year anniversary for the show. The year anniversary for the show is in August, so hopefully we can hit it by then. But, you know, we're halfway there, so I'm hoping for the best. TikTok is just not liking your boy scenarios, and it's just not really pushing out my new clips. So if you guys are following, make sure you go to the page and check out, because there are new clips that are showing up constantly. It's just they don't really push it out to my following, and they don't push it out on the For You pages because they're like, hey, you know, this is for kids. And I'm just like, no, it's not, but whatever. And then youtube.com/MyThatSoPodcast. If you want to support us even more, subscribe to us over there. Even if you don't watch over there, subscribing does help. All right. Well, without further ado, let's get into Haunting Adeline. Before the last thing we left off with on Haunting Adeline, I believe, was when Zaid was in the little mansion party thing that was going on. He had his fake FBI buddies bust in and, you know, raid the place and do all that. He got the little girl out. She went to safety, and then he went back and got caught to make it look like, you know, hey, I'm still a part of this, you know, I love touching little girl cooch and all that stuff. He's got to keep up the act so that way, you know, he doesn't get caught and he can get close to these motherfuckers. Sadly, he didn't get to kill the motherfucker he wanted to kill, but I'm sure he'll get there. And, you know, now they're going to be pretty much like, oh, we're going to fire you. On Adeline's side of things, she's kind of closing in on Gigi's situation and who actually killed her. I think they did get back the DNA samples from the bloodied watch that they found in the attic. And then she was over here thinking about Zaid, and then she flicked the bean And yeah, that was that. That was pretty much the last week's episode in a nutshell, if I'm being honest with you. So now we're going to be on to 40 and 41. Let me make sure we got everything ready to go.
Chapter 40. The Shadow. I don't remember ever being a needy child. Growing up, I had a great relationship with my parents. My mother was incredibly loving, and my father was supportive and very involved in my life. But I was always a naturally independent person, determined to do things on my own without help. And because my parents showered me with love and attention, it wasn't something I sought out. I can't say that anymore. Addie's mouth is wide open, drool steadily leaking from her mouth. She's snoring softly, and I don't think I've gotten the chance to tease her about that yet. She's going to get angry, and I smile just thinking about it. Despite her disheveled state, my cock is incredibly hard. The witch went to bed in nothing but a white, silky set, and the second I slowly drew back the covers, I nearly went to my knees. Did my little mouse wear that just for me? Reaching out, I trace a finger up her thigh, enjoying the sight of her skin puckering. She shifts, moaning softly at the disturbance in her sleep. How would she feel waking up with my cock inside her? She shifts again when I finger the strap of her underwear. Normally she wakes up fairly easily, and despite Addie giving in to me, I'm not foolish enough to believe I don't set her on edge still, which means she had a few drinks. Grinning, I toe off my shoes and slide out of the suffocating suit I've been wearing all night. After we got to the station, they hauled Dan off to a separate room and let me go. I came straight here, my body strung tight with the need to bury myself inside my little mouse. Completely naked, I slide into the bed next to Addie, curling her body into mine. Her eyes flutter and I watch as she regains consciousness. When her eyes slide up to my face, they widen ever so slightly. I could have tried to fuck her while asleep, but I decided to hold off on that until Addie admits her love for me and freely accepts mine. Until I can fuck her without a fight, though I think some part of Addie will always fight me. Although I've taken advantage of Addie on several occasions, at least her being awake and coherent allowed me to watch her body's reactions. Doesn't make it right, but her body has always wept for me, and if it ever didn't, I wouldn't have touched her until it did.
Why are you in my bed staring at me like a creep?
She asks, her voice groggy with sleep. I chuckle. I thought it had been established that I'm a creep already.
It has, and yet you still keep doing it?
Would you like me to stop? I query, sliding my hands down her backside. She sucks in a sharp breath, appearing much more awake and alert as I grip her plump ass in my palms.
No,
she admits quietly. She looks so tiny and vulnerable admitting it, so I stay quiet. She trails her fingers across the tattoos on my chest, her eyes averted firmly away from mine.
Do these mean anything?
She murmurs, seeming as if she's concentrating hard on the design. No, I answer. I have them because I like them. I prefer to keep anything of significance as a possession. Frowning, she peers up at me through long lashes.
Why? I would think your body would be the one place you would have anything meaningful. You carry it around everywhere you go.
I lift a shoulder. My body is just a vessel that my soul inhabits, attached to a shell that'll one day leave, and when that day comes, I won't care to let that shell go. I carry my body around because I have to, not because it's a choice. But when I possess something meaningful, I'm choosing to hold on to it. Carrying something meaningful on my skin is effortless, but holding on to something that I could lose, that takes devotion. She drops her eyes back down, seeming to contemplate my words. I curl my finger under her chin, wanting, no, needing her eyes back. They suck the oxygen from my lungs, and I've always loved to toe the line between life and death. Those pretty brown eyes fasten on mine, big and round, and all I want to do is consume her. I will always possess you, little mouse, so know that you have all of my devotion to keeping you.
Why does it always sound like a threat?
She wonders aloud, though a small smile tips the corner of her lips. I grin. Because it is. I roll to my back, bringing her with me so she's sprawled out on my chest.
Zayd.
She warns, but her words contrast against her action. She shifts her legs so she's straddling me, her center lined up on my cock. I can feel how hot and wet she is through the silk of her underwear. Gritting my teeth, I ball my hands into fists, fighting the instinct to rip the sorry excuse for panties to shreds so that I can feel how ready she is to take me inside her. Adeline, I echo. Her light brown eyes are shaded, but I can feel the effect all the same. She's leaning just above me, her soft body molded to mine. I swear I can feel the tension lining her hips as she resists the need to grind her pussy on me.
What?
She whispers, feigning ignorance. Sit on my cock now. Her breathing hitches, and with her breasts pressed tightly against mine, I can't tell if the rapid pulsing in my chest is from her heart or mine. The internal struggle in her head is loud, and indecision radiates from her. Eventually she sits up, her body cutting through the strands of moonlight shining through the balcony doors, and I crumble. Her curvy body is cascaded in both shadows and light, the two forbidden lovers clashing on her skin and creating a fucking masterpiece. Her beauty is blinding, turning my body into ash beneath her light. She drags her hand down her flat stomach until her fingertips tease the edges of her underwear. Addie, I snarl through clenched teeth. My hands slide up her thighs, pausing at the juncture where they meet her hips. I'm a weak man, and I don't possess the strength to deny the need to touch her.
Yes, Zayd?
She asks, her husky voice low and breathy. My hips jerk impatiently in response. She smiles, the act wicked and cruel. Finally, she lifts up and slides her underwear to the side, baring her pussy. I lift my hips again, desperate for contact, but she evades me, hovering just out of reach. You have 5 fucking sec...
Shh, baby.
I'm so thrown by her calling me baby that my threat vanishes, as if my voice were a ghost teasing the corner of your eye. Her smile widens at my incredulous look, but I'm only confused why she thought calling me baby would calm me down. Now all I want to do is flip her on her knees, pin that pretty face into the sheets, and fuck her until her head is coming out the underside of the bed. Before I can make good on it, she finally drops her hips. I groan at the feeling of my cock being enveloped by slick heat as she glides up and down my length. My head kicks back and my hands tighten on her hips. Bruises will mar her skin, and the thought only enrages the beast more. Fuck, Ad. I have no time to even finish my prayer before the tip of my cock is slipping inside, and I'm completely incapable of formulating words. Slowly, tortuously, she works my cock inside her, balancing her weight on my stomach. Little, breathless pants puff from her mouth while I tremble beneath her, so fucking tight.
Oh, God. I'm too full.
She whimpers, her own body trembling as she works to take me in. Baby, I'm not going to be able to control myself much longer. Sit down. Sucking her bottom lip between her teeth, she lifts up one last time before seating herself completely on my cock. A yelp bursts from her lips, her eyes round discs. My body hums from the euphoria of her pussy wrapped so fucking tightly around me. Goddamn Nirvana. There's nothing like it. Now move, I rasp out, my control slipping as I pump my hips up once. It's enough to send electric shocks down my spine. Her chin tips up, eyes rolling as she swivels her hips.
Ah!
She moans, continuing the movement until we're both delirious. She moves slow and languid, sliding up and down and twisting her hips in a way that makes me see entire constellations. Her eyes are pinched shut, her little mouth parted as she gets pleasure from my cock. It feels incredible, enough to make me come if I allowed it. But I need more. I need her fast and hard. Little mouse, I call, my voice hoarse with need, her hips still and her eyes creak open. Run. Her eyes pop open and her breath stalls. A moment passes where we're both frozen in time, and then she springs into action. I hiss from the sensation of sliding out of her, and then she's catapulting towards the end of the bed. She bolts out of the room and guns for the stairs. I stay right at her heels, enjoying the startled screams that slip from her throat every time she sees me so close. Purposely, I let her run, my cock hardening further from the chase. My little mouse loves to be scared, and I get off on making her so. Barreling down the stairs, she aims for the back of the house. I grin when I realize exactly where she's going. I let her get to the hallway before I snatch her up, relishing in the bite of her nails in my arm. Trying to relive a favorite memory, naughty girl? She growls in response, kicking her legs at air. I nearly burst into the sunroom, the beauty of it lost on me when I hold the most precious gift in my arms. I drop to my knees and twist her around, laughing as she struggles. Feel familiar?
Zaid!
She cries with indignation, but I don't give her a moment to get her bearings. She's on her back in a matter of seconds, staring up at me with wide eyes. Let me know which stars you prefer, the ones above you or the ones I make you see. And then I'm driving into her tight heat, not giving either of us a moment to prepare for it. She cries out, her back arching and her claws sharpened as she scores them down my arms.
Jesus fucking...
Her words are cut off from another sharp thrust, a moan replacing her sinful words. I shudder, my control completely in tatters as I drive into her, fucking her so hard that I'm forced to keep dragging her back down towards me. Sharp screams fill the air, and there's a moment where the pitch is so high I fear I broke something inside of her. But then her pussy clamps tight, making it almost impossible to move before she comes around my cock, her body nearly convulsing from the power. My name falls from her lips, but I can't stop. The sound of our skin slapping and her garbled words bounce off the windows surrounding us as I continue to slam into her. Her tiny throat is in my hand, squeezing until she can no longer utter a word. A hand wraps around my arm, branding bloody crescent moons into my skin as she fights for oxygen. I'll gladly sacrifice my name on her tongue if it means climbing up to heaven with her. I bare my teeth, intense pleasure racing down my spine and building at the base. Fuck! I feel the explosion right at the precipice. Parsons Manor will always be destined to be the house that burns and takes lives. Give me another baby, I urge, my other hand reaching down until my thumb circles her clit. Her face pinkens, nearing red when she falls back over. I release her throat. The dizzying rush from lack of oxygen, coupled with her orgasm, has her back coming entirely off the floor. Like a woman possessed, she clings to me as more scratches are torn into my skin. Gnashing my teeth, I sit back, bringing her squirming body with me until I'm kneeling with her legs wrapped tightly around my waist. She gyrates down onto me relentlessly, riding out her orgasm and pulling me down over the edge with her. I come with a roar, clutching her to my chest so tightly that we're both only capable of small, jerky movements as we grind into each other. I lose myself, my name, my identity, my soul. It's been hurtled away into the vortex our bodies have created, like being sucked into a wormhole and kicked out into a new universe. And when we come down, the stars surrounding us suddenly look so dull and lifeless compared to the ones shining in her eyes. I have an extraction tomorrow. It's what I've been building up to for months now, I say, my fingers tracing across her bare back. It's going to be pretty dangerous. I just want you to be aware of that. Addie's head lifts, her face much more visible now that we're in a room housed in windows. I can see the barest hint of the freckles dusting her nose and cheeks, and I want to kiss each and every one of them. We collapsed after I fucked us both stupid, and neither of us has felt inclined to get up since.
Is it the rituals?
I nod and tell her all about the night I had. She was aware of the fucked up dinner party, and when I tell her it was successful, her face softens with relief.
I can't wrap my head around people actually doing that. People just came over and sat at that table as if they were going to eat fucking lobster tail?
Yeah, I murmur. I bite my lip, a shit-eating grin already forming on my face for what I'm about to tell her. Her head just settled back on my chest when I say, the little girl I saved, Sarah. She asked if I'd be her daddy. Addie's head snaps up so quickly she comes close to breaking it. Careful, this world would be in trouble if you died. Her mouth flops.
What did you say?
I shrug. I didn't really get to say anything. She had to leave so I could go get fake arrested. If I didn't, Dan and the society might have found the raid too convenient. Luckily, I was able to play it on a charge that Dan has gotten in the past. She blinks.
Would you? Adopt her, I mean?
I lift my hand, gently swiping a lock of her hair from her face and curling it behind her ear. She tries to hide the shiver, but her body is pressed too closely into mine for it to be successful. I wouldn't do anything without your say-so, but yes, I would. She swallows.
Why do you need my permission?
You think I stalked you just because I wanted a quick thrill? No, baby. It's you and me forever, which means if I become a daddy, then you become a mommy. Her eyes widen and what looks like panic flashes in her irises. I curl a finger beneath her chin and land a quick peck to her lips. Don't worry about that right now. Sarah is safe, and at the moment we're more worried about her trauma and getting her mental health taken care of. She nods, though I don't miss the lingering look before she settles back on my chest. Chapter 41. The Shadow. You ready for tonight? Jay asks in my ear. I've been ready, I answer easily as I pull up to the gentlemen's club, Saviors. The society choosing this club as the front for an underground dungeon must be their version of a sick sense of humor. I slip the earpiece out of my ear, stuff it in my inner suit jacket, and then make my way up to the entrance. The outside of the building is like any other high-priced strip club, a marble black monstrosity that drips money and power. The security guard standing outside of the doors gives me a once-over before putting me through the customary "what's your name" and "let me check your asshole" cough once. Unlike Detective Fingers, this one actually manages to keep his hands in the safe zone and lets me through without a hitch. For obvious reasons, I'm not permitted to carry firearms on me, but that won't be an issue. After Mark confessed the location, several of my men were able to infiltrate the security detail hired for this club. Powerful men and women certainly wouldn't be showing up to kill children if they didn't feel protected while doing so. Security is required to carry firearms, and I have it on good authority that some of them might let me borrow a gun or two when the time comes. Just like when I was here last time, when I walk into the club it feels like walking through a portal to hell. It's stifling in here. The air's so full of depravity and sickness that it's a physical weight on my shoulders. Jesus fucking Christ. I feel like I need a goddamn gas mask. I walk directly into the main area, the massive layout and open concept. It's dimly lit and ominous, the perfect place to hide in the shadows without being noticed. The floors are black marble, and unlike the seedy strip clubs downtown, these floors shine as brightly as my freshly polished shoes. The blood-red walls are bare of creepy art, but plenty of creeps occupy the booths and tables surrounding the stage. A woman swings around the pole, shaking her ass to the beat, while money is thrown on the stage. Low music pumps through the speakers, though not so loud that I can hardly hear myself think. Loud moans ring out from somewhere down a hallway, and I make sure to stay far away for now. If I go back and see some fucked up shit happening, I'm going to blow the entire thing. For a second I thought you weren't going to show up, a voice says from behind me. I turn to see Dan standing there, peering at me with a satisfied grin on his face. A man can't enjoy some strippers after getting arrested? I retort, my tone laced with dry amusement. Dan laughs and shakes his head, stuffing his hands in his pockets. I still can't believe that happened. I am so sorry. Every man on my lawn got fired that night, I assure you. I flash my teeth. I expected nothing less. What charges did they try to pin on you? Fucking drug smuggling. He scoffs in that "can you believe that shit" way. I haven't had a line of coke up my nose in months, and it sure as shit wasn't my product. I quirk a brow. What happened to the girl? His face darkens, and for the first time I see true evilness reflecting back at me. I knew it was there, residing just below the surface, but this is the first time Dan truly let that hateful demon out. I believe one of my guests took advantage of the chaos and stole her for themselves. The cameras? I push. He shakes his head and spits. Fucking ruined. The FBI must have done something to mess with the signal when they came. Probably because they weren't authorized to kick down my goddamn door. Regardless, the little girl is gone, and $90,000 went down the drain. My displeasure is prominent as I say, "Do you have any idea who it was? I would love to talk to them about stealing from me." A smirk forms on his face. "As soon as I have confirmation, I will let you know. Otherwise, keep the beast contained." He pats my chest and motions towards an empty booth. "Let's have a drink. The ceremony won't start for a few hours." Lead the way. "So, my wife said that she's going to leave, right? I told her there isn't a goddamn inch that exists in this world where she could hide, and I couldn't find her." He finishes his statement with a huff and shake of his head, boggled that his wife would even try to find a happy life somewhere else. Somewhere that doesn't involve eating children for dinner, and whatever else sick shit they do to them in the meantime. Women like to run, but they like to be caught even more, I murmur. He looks at me, a wicked grin curling his lips. "Exactly, man. Too bad the bitch isn't worth chasing. So by the time I catch her, she's going to wish she did find that inch. You know how exhausting it is to be married to someone who doesn't share the same tastes as you? I've tried to initiate her several times, but she refuses. Can you believe that? How does someone with a shred of decency even answer that? You don't." I shake my head casually, taking a sip of my whiskey. Addie's grandfather has better taste than these old dick lickers. Glancing at his Rolex, he motions for me to follow as he stands. "It's time. Let's head on down," Dan says, swallowing the last of his whiskey before setting the empty crystal glass on the table. He turns and checks out a passing stripper, his eyes leering on her exposed backside. "And when we're done, I'm going to take a bite out of that one next. These initiations always get me in the mood." The whiskey in my stomach sours. Swallowing down what I really want to say, I motion for him to lead. He saunters towards the hallway where the moans are emanating from. Stealing my spine, I follow after him. We enter through a hallway riddled with doors on either side. The moans escalate, but now that I'm closer, I hear the notes of fear and pain laced in them. Cracks of whips, flesh hitting flesh, and the loud grunts of men accompany the moans. Fuck. Think of the child laying on a stone altar somewhere. They need me more. At the end of the hallway is a black marble door. Dan wraps his fist around the knob and pauses before peering back at me, his lips curled with excitement. "You ready?" Considering I was teased last night, I'm more than ready. Dan flashes a malicious smirk before opening the door. I'm met with a dark hallway, scarcely lit by dim LED lighting on either side of the floor. The hallway is long and almost feels never-ending. And it seems the further we walk, the narrower it grows, but it's just my mind playing tricks on me. At the end is another marble door. I glance back and notice we were going down a subtle incline, where I see a small group of men coming down the hallway in the distance. Dan opens the door and we're greeted by a room full of people. The black marble extends into the room, but the walls are rock. On either side are long rows of familiar black robes I've seen in the last few videos. The people gathered in here are speaking in low tones, slipping on the oversized robes, followed by the Ouroboros necklaces around their necks. My heart pounds, almost in disbelief that I'm finally here. The moment I've been working towards for so long. It's surreal. "Grab one," Dan orders, his tone serious. Without a word, I unhook a robe and slip it on. The material is silky smooth, but it feels like I'm wrapping myself in wool. Despite my large stature, the material still hangs past my feet and hands. Next, he hands me the thick gunmetal gray necklace. The chain is ice cold and heavy in my hands, the large symbol hanging from it weighing at least a pound. I slip it over my head while Dan stares at me, his gaze intense. "To be accepted into our family tonight is to give your soul over to Satan. Do you understand?" I nod. The devil and I are already well acquainted. "This another newcomer?" A nasally voice asks from my left. I turned to see a weasel of a man standing next to me. He's a good foot shorter than I am, with a receding hairline, a chubby face, and square glasses. I am, I answer cryptically. And you are? The man smiles nervously. Also a newcomer. My name is Larry Varanich. Zach, I offer. Several robed figures start pouring out of the room through another black door straight ahead. Let's go, Dan says, nodding his head towards the group. As I approach the door, a low hum gathers at the base of my neck, causing the hairs to rise. The room is just like I've seen in the videos. It's like walking into an underground cave, only instead of moisture in the air, it's dry and heavy. The dark space is lit by hundreds of candles lining the rock walls, but the small flames are no match for the oppressing shadows. We're on a rounded platform, a simple black rail as a barrier to about a 40-foot drop. In the center of the room is a stone altar, a wriggling little girl on top of it. Black straps circle her tiny wrists and ankles, keeping her in place. She can't be more than 6 or 7 years old. The hum grows louder until it sounds like it's coming from inside my own head. My hands clench beneath the fabric, and I'm only thankful that the sleeves are long enough to hide my reaction. To your left are the stairs, Dan says, pointing in the direction. Go ahead and stand by the altar. One of you will be offered the knife to bleed out the sacrifice. Drink the blood and you will be initiated into the society. I nod my head and take off in the direction. The rocky, uneven stairs are just around the bend where Larry is already heading. I lift the hood over my head, glancing around the areas until I spot the security guards. 3 of them on the bottom floor where the altar is, hidden off in the shadows. From my vantage point, I'm unable to see their faces, but I know Michael is one of them. 2 other men follow behind me as I make my way down the steps. The minute my foot hits the ground, a low chant begins, gaining in pitch as I approach the altar. I stare at the little girl on the stone slab, tears tracking down her dirty cheeks. She's sobbing, her little lip curled in a frown as her wide blue eyes stare at us in absolute terror. My heart constricts so tightly it's debilitating. By sheer willpower, I force myself to stand still. Fuck, I'm already getting hard, a guy whispers from my left. My teeth nearly crack from how hard I clench my jaw in that moment. Slowly, I turn to see a guy that looks like he's in his early 20s, his hood down. His brown, bottomless eyes glance up at me, and all I can see is pure excitement radiating from them. He's going to be the first one to die. He's close enough that he can see my face, and I work to keep it neutral. He grins at me, but I give him no reaction. And though his smile falters just a little, the sick fuck has no idea that I just did him a huge favor. Because had I reacted, I would have reached down his throat and ripped out his windpipe with my bare hands.
Please, I want my mommy.
The little girl begs from below me. Her red and puffy eyes are full of tears, and she's staring up at me with terror and desperation. Her little lip trembles, and I have to physically restrain myself from reaching out and grabbing her tiny hand in my own.
Please,
she cries, her blues full of tears despite the rivers streaming down her cheeks.
I want to go home.
Snarling, I force my mouth to stay shut. More than anything, I want to reassure her, comfort her, promise her that she will get to see her mother again. But I can't allow any of those words to escape. Not yet. The chant around us grows louder, building until it feels like the cave vibrates from the sound, but it's muted, like I'm underwater. All I can concentrate on is the small girl pleading for my help. I'm staring at her so hard, trying to convey the assurances in my eyes that I don't even notice the black figure that approached until they're right before me, standing on the other side of the little girl. Their faces hidden in the depths of their hood, and black gloves cover their hands. I have no idea if this person is a man or a woman, or how significant they are. They could be from the society. In fact, my intuition tells me they are. In each hand are 2 goblets twined between their fingers. The figure holds out their arms, and the 4 of us each grab one. And then the figure reaches down by their leg and pulls out a curved black blade. They don't speak. They just balance the blade in the palm of their hand and hold it out straight, an offer for any one of us to take. I swipe the blade, already sensing the frat boy next to me gearing up to snatch it. I can feel his disappointment, assumingly because he wanted to be the one to plunge the blade into a child's chest, and for that I'm going to make sure his death is slow. He won't get the honors of getting his jugular sliced open so he can bleed out in seconds. No, he won't be that fortunate. The chanting escalates until the haunting noise radiates off the cave walls. I feel the figure's eyes boring into me, and though they can't see my face either, I return the stare. Finally, they turn and walk away, disappearing back into the shadows. My heart thumping heavily in my chest trumps the noise around me. I can't hear anything beyond the racing organ beneath my rib cage until the little girl's screams pierce the air. I've lifted the blade over her, the sharp point hovering right above her chest. The handle is fisted in my grip. I stick out 2 fingers, pausing for a few seconds to make sure the signal is seen before tucking them back in. And then I look down at the girl. "Close your eyes," I whisper, "and don't open them until I tell you to." Her lip wobbles, but she listens, closing her eyes to the horror that will happen around her. Gripping the blade tightly, I lift it up and swipe my arm to the left, directly into the frat boy's throat. The chanting stutters before stopping completely, gasps ringing out as the boy beside me suffocates on his blood. I jerk the blade out, the suctioning noise swallowed by his choked gasps. He's staring at me, eyes wide with disbelief, and then he collapses, no longer capable of holding himself up. Gunshots ring out. A security guard stationed behind me falls to the ground, his brain matter splattered into the shadows. That was the trigger. The entire room bursts into action. Panicked screams and running bodies aim for the exit. I don't let Larry make it a step before the curved blade is plundering through his eye, glasses and everything. His body convulses and then collapses when I rip it out of his head, the suctioning noise lost in the chaos. I look down at Frat Boy and watch him take his last breath, the life snuffed out from his eyes, and I smile. Michael erupts from the shadows, running towards me. When he's close enough, he flings a gun at me. I snatch the weapon in the air and face the direction the black figure disappeared off into. Urgency flooding my veins, I glance down at the little girl, her eyes still faithfully closed. Blood is splattered across her body, and I hate that evil still managed to touch her. Slipping the hood off my face, I lean down over the girl. "Open your eyes, pretty girl, but I want you to look only at me, okay?" Slowly, she cracks them open. The tears have dried, but her face is still twisted with panic. "My friend here is going to take care of you. He's going to make sure you get back to your mommy, okay?" Immediately, she bursts into tears again. I swipe her blonde hair from her face. "It's okay, pretty girl. What I want you to do is keep your eyes on him and only him. Close them if you have to. He'll let you know when it's safe."
"Okay,"
she whispers, her little voice cracked. She nods, and I gently sweep a tear from her face before straightening my spine. "Take care of the girl," I order, looking up at Michael. "Ruby should be here. She'll take care of her, and then you come back and help finish this shit off." Michael nods while I start towards the area I last saw the black figure disappear. If they really were a part of the society, then I want them for information. Screams erupt from the entrance I came in through, followed by more gunshots. One of my men must have let my team in. Absolute carnage is consuming that cave, but I don't worry about that, trusting that no one that participated in this ceremony will make it out alive. That was a very clear order I made. This world will be better off without them. I only make it about 10 feet before an explosion blasts through the cave, sending me flying. Time slows as my body hurtles through air, sound becoming inconceivable. And then it speeds again and my body is colliding into the stone altar. The oxygen is knocked from my lungs as my back hits the corner of the altar before I collapse to the ground. Loud ringing reverberates throughout my head, but it's no louder than a whisper when the pain is deafening. For seconds, minutes, hours, all I can manage is to lay there as confusion and pain swirl around me. Groaning, I crack open my eyes, squinting through the dust clouding the area. I can't hear a goddamn thing. but as the dust settles, the body parts strewn across the place tells me how loud it is. Bodies are running around chaotically. There's a man dragging himself towards the steps, one leg completely missing, while part of the railing protrudes from his side. He must have been on the top floor and gotten blasted through it, along with several other people, some of them missing limbs, others just covered in blood and seriously injured, cradling some part of their body as they process the utter shock of the explosion. The ringing recedes, and an onslaught of screams filter in. I groan again, forcing my body into an upright position as I try to figure out what the fuck just happened. My head is fuzzy and my vision swims, the pain flaring brighter with every movement. I tear the Ouroboros from my head, the weight of it feeling like a cinder block tied around my neck. Jesus fucking Christ, what the hell happened? A person is charging towards me, their tall, lanky body emerging from dust clouds and bloody limbs. Their mouth is open in a shout, and it's not until they're nearly a foot in front of me that my eyes process what I'm seeing. It's Jay. Why the fuck is Jay here? He should be behind a computer desk somewhere. Zaid, dude, are you okay? Panic etched into every line on his face, and his hazel eyes are rounded with fear as he kneels before me, his hands sweeping over my body to check for injuries. The fuck happened? My head is fucking throbbing, and my back feels damn near broken. Why are you here? I came as soon as I figured it out. It was a setup. This last video, they knew we were coming. I don't know how, man, but they purposely leaked the fucking video. It was a fucking setup. I'm so focused on Jay's mouth, slowly trying to process the words coming out of them, that the sound of a gun being cocked and the cold press of metal in the back of my head registers too late. Glad you could figure that out, Jason Scott. Now let's see those hands. Otherwise, this single bullet will find its way in both of your fucking heads. Jay looks up at the person standing behind me, his eyes growing impossibly larger. You?
All right. Man, that was chapters 40 and 41. Woo! Bit of a cliffhanger there. Wow. Well, we will see. We will listen to the beautiful conclusion of this book next week. Hopefully you guys can last that long. Because I know I'm excited. I'm excited to see the ending of this. This is going to be something else. But thank you guys so much for listening and watching. Again, patreon.com/MyLife's Podcast if you want to get an exclusive episode every single Friday. If you're an audio listener, download as well as rate the podcast 5 stars. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Thank you guys so much for all the support. I love you all. I'll see you on Sunday for another beautiful Sunday episode. I will see you. Peace.